All right, my turn to ask a question. Um, what is the best part of your job and what is the worst part of your job?
Okay, you're asking me?
Yes.
Well, Steve, I wouldn't say it's the glamorous part, but Steve really focuses on the winemaking and the grape growing. Um, and I do the business end of our business. And I love the variety, I would say. Like even today, I go from anywhere from dealing with banking issues to marketing issues to our distributor. So I like that variety, but sometimes that's also the negative part. I can almost feel like I've got split personalities because I have to deal with 10 things at one time. And anybody who has ever had a small business or a business in general understands that. So that's the plus and minus of what I do. How about you, Steve?
The best part is actually kind of what we're doing right now. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, I always say this, but it's true. Wine is just fermented grapes, but the magic behind it is how it opens up people's minds. It expands their imagination. People connect with each other, and so being responsible for making a product that helps people enjoy life more, that's an intangible that's hard to measure. So that I would say that's the best part of my job. The worst part is it's good and bad. The physicality of it. The it's not as romantic as people think. You can attest to this. Many days I come home, clothes that are stained and wet, and you've been scrubbing tanks and washing down floors. And just a few hours ago, we were pruning vines. It's a beautiful day to do that, but sometimes we're pruning vines when the wind chill is 10 degrees. So it is physically demanding. So it's a lot more work than you'd ever anticipate.
Yeah, I would agree. Anybody else want to share any stories that they have? I mean, tell us what's going on with you. Anybody want to share anything as far as it's kind of an odd time to be talking about work,
Sure.
I guess. But if anybody wants to share, we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Kevin.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kevin.
Well, it's interesting that my first adventure at Parallel 44 was almost like a scavenger hunt. My wife and I, as we travel a lot, and she said, well, we're heading someplace, but she didn't tell me where. And then she said, well, you want to turn here, you want to turn there. Very uncomfortable for me because I like to know where I'm going, and I usually know where I am. And we wound up at your winery at Parallel 44, and we're wine drinkers and have always been, up until 10, 15 years ago, drinking non-Wisconsin wines because, the sweet apples, the sweet cherries, nothing wrong with those, but they didn't match our palate. And so it was nice to be able to find your winery, and now over the last 10 years, even more homegrown Wisconsin grape wineries that are putting out some wines that can match. We go out to New York, and I rave about Parallel 44 and some of the other wineries in Wisconsin, and some of the grapes that you're using, and the Marquettes. And we found one in East Finger Lakes, a Chancellor grape. I'd never heard of it before, and it was so good. It tasted very much like the Marquette. And so I was talking with the wine master there and explaining those. So yeah, it's nice to have good Wisconsin grapes that we can go other places and rave about.
Thank you.
Yeah, what you just said, Kevin, is what I think about every day. We can keep growing and making wine that wins competitions, but until everyday people who enjoy wine start basically telling others that Wisconsin wine actually means this, that's really what's going to put us over the top. So I love the fact that you guys are ambassadors, and I love the fact that people come to Door County every year and check out wineries. But my dream is just like you go into restaurants now and say, could I have a Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa when you order something on the menu? I want people who never will ever come to Wisconsin to say, I love a Marquette with their steak if they're sitting in Manhattan or in Los Angeles, because it does have that potential. So the biggest hurdle we face isn't our climate, isn't the fact that we're small, it's the fact that we haven't reached a public perception that can put us over the top. And you guys are really the ambassadors that are going to make that happen. There's really nothing that Marie and I are going to do that's going to make it the difference. It's what you guys are going to say about this that's really going to make the difference in the end. So that's why, like I said, I love doing this, because I realize this is the key to the future.